Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Coaching Corner with me, Jamila, aka the IP Coach. You know, it's Tuesday, and I love my Tuesdays because I get to come on here and talk to all of you guys about all things special education. For those of you who are new to the Coaching Corner, I am Jamila, aka the IP Coach. I am the founder of the IP Coach LLC. We are an education company, and we focus on supporting special education teams, teachers, and paraprofessionals to help them thrive in their roles and keep their schools out of litigation. Okay, that's just a little bit about what we do at the IEP Coach. And we also do a lot of parent workshops to help educate parents about the special education process, IEP process, and 504 plan process. Okay, so that's just a little bit about us. And just a quick reminder, our free Progress Monitoring 101 workshop will be Wednesday, October the 22nd. It is absolutely free. The link will be in the program, the show notes, the live notes. So you can click the link there. It's also in our bio for those of you who are tuning in from Instagram or Facebook. And just so you know, we are streaming live on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. But we're going to go ahead and share it right here in the comments for you, okay? And also remember, is right there in the live notes. So I am so happy to bring on my guest today because we're focusing on, is SPEDucators Rise worth it? And hear from a teacher who lived it. All right, and this is part one, okay? So especially for those of you who are new to the IEP Coach, SPEDucators Rise is our group coaching program that is specifically designed for special education teachers because there isn't a lot of support out there for our special education teachers. So we designed this program to give special education teachers the support that they need, the continued support that they need regarding the things that they have to do as a special education teacher. And as a case manager. They wear two hats. So we focus on a lot of different topics. We give them the support for over eight bi-weekly meetings, in addition to some other supports that I can't tell you. You got to be in the program to know what it is, okay? So instead of just hearing from me, of course, I'm going to tell you how great it is, how great the program is, and how it's for you, and how I wish I had this coaching when I was a special education teacher because I did not have anything like this. But instead of just hearing from me, I was like, why not bring on some teachers who actually went through the coaching program? So we're going to, so we have a teacher today, and then we're going to do a bonus live on Friday and share another testimonial from another teacher that went through SPEDucators Rise. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Miss Sandy Atkins, who is a special education teacher at a school in DC. Hi, Sandy.
Hi, Jamila. How are you?
I am doing great. Love the hair. It's so cute. I love it.
Yes, it's good for the school year. It's easy.
Yes, easy. Don't got to do too much to it. Can keep going. So we wanted to have teachers come on who actually went through the SPEDucators Rise group coaching program. So that way they see like, hey, we're giving them proof about this program, proof that, hey, we're not just talking stuff. We actually have human beings, teachers that have gone through the program. So before we get into just the interview, like what made you want to take advantage of the program, SPEDucators Rise?
Oh, I am so glad I did the program. And the reason I did it, I have been teaching just completely over 20 years. But about maybe 6 years ago, I was in the classroom teaching third graders ELA, and half my class was special ed and the other half was gen ed. And I saw the need. I really saw it as a disparity, how the special education students were not getting the support they needed. And I'm one person. It was probably October before we had an inclusion teacher come in and support, but then that teacher kept being pulled to different grades and it wasn't totally effective. And so I figured out how to just do small groups and work with the students who needed the support. And it was that was the year pandemic started, actually. And it was that time I said, when we go back, I'd rather do special education. And so I didn't know everything I had to go through to get to that point. I just knew I enjoyed teaching. And I was told to take the praxis test, and I did. Both of them, passed both of them. And that's how I was able to continue as a special ed teacher. Well, little did I know it required so much. It's so much paperwork. And I just felt like, okay, the paperwork alone is enough. I know how to teach. I know that I'm able to work with the special ed students because I had done that, and they moved actually on some of their assessments. And so I felt I needed the support. And just so happened, I spoke to someone that we both know have in common, Dr. Watson, and she referred me to you. So I reached out to you, and after reading the information on your website and talking to you, and I said, okay, this is what I need. I need someone to coach me through this year, to work on the things that I've still felt a little hesitant about, but yet I was doing the work. And so I really wanted to know more, be efficient, effective in getting the documents out, learning more about progress reporting for the students, because it was totally different than just doing a progress report for a Gen Ed student. And pretty much everything. And talking to you and having the opportunity to go through SPEDucators Rise, I became such in my opinion, a better special education teacher. So thank you.
You're welcome. We are so happy to hear. We were so happy to have you in the program as well. So I know you gave us basically kind of your journey on becoming a special education teacher and then why you did the program. So what would you say was the biggest challenge you had before coming into the program?
The biggest challenge I had with managing first I was a resource teacher. I didn't know you before then. So when I met you, I became an inclusion teacher. And the most challenging thing with that is the teachers are also in the classroom with the general ed teacher. And it was a balance thing. It was like, oh, how do I balance progress monitoring my students? When do I pull them out? How can I teach them the lesson along with the teacher teaching in the classroom? And it was just, I felt like, okay, I felt overwhelmed really, because of the way we were set up. And then I just felt like, am I really giving the students what I need to do with them to make sure I'm doing it, as we say, with fidelity in some cases, or effectively. So that's what led me to when I read your information, and I thought, this is what I really need. And to have a coach, someone one-on-one, it just so happened it was one-on-one with you, and that was perfect for me. And even if it were other people, it was still perfect because the rich information that you shared and gave, it helped me a great deal. And I was really struggling with that, being able to pull students and progress monitor them. And that was one area you said, no, you have to do it this way, I remember. And that's one thing I took back. I said, I have to set my own day. Anybody tell me I can't do it.
Yeah, it's like people don't take it like seriously. Like, no, you have to consistently do it. Pick your day when you're going to do it and all of that. So,
yes. And also working with the teacher. We were both like co-teaching, but in the sense of you still know you're doing the special education side as well. So yes, it was an eye-opening experience for me.
Okay, thank you. And so it was being overwhelmed and then trying to find ways to support your students, when you're going to pull them, how you're going to support them, also doing progress monitoring. Mm-hmm. So what would you say was that one thing that made you say, oh my God, absolutely, I'm going to do this program? And what were you hoping to gain?
again, when I looked at the information on the website, I saw your experience, I saw everything that you did, and then we had a conversation. And you are so committed to supporting other special education teachers and helping them understand the process and the legal side of it, everything. And I thought, this was it. This is a person I can trust to help me learn more about the special education arena, so to speak. So definitely you as a person committed to your role. And then as we got into the process of SPEDucators Rise, just things I didn't know, little things. One of the things that stands out the most is when I had taken ill with my knees or something, and it was just so hard to get around the building. And I said, Lord, this is too much. And you said to me, you can get a 504 plan. And I thought, really? So learning that and it's like, she really knows her stuff.
That is too funny. But I do remember that I'm like, and I'm looking at you like, why don't you get a 504? You just had this thing happen. Why don't you get a 504? And you're like, what is that? And I'm like,
as an adult, yes, okay. And so things like that, and because this really, the IEPs, all of that information extends beyond the student, and that was an aha moment for me, as well as when we talked about the LEAs and the legal area, the things we can and can't do. So it was just so many nuggets I took from there, and then also organizing everything I do. That is one big area I needed support in. And when you came up with the format of the chart, I thought, okay, she really made my life easier. And I use it. I do use it today. I have some things in it that I access on if not a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and it has helped me a lot. Just pull everything in that I need.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you so much. So yeah, I definitely remember that. We were going over 504s. Like, when would you need a 504? When would you need an IEP? And you just start to share stuff. I'm like, why don't you have one? You said I could get one. I'm like, yes. I'm like, 504s are for students, for children. Children as well as adults. Adults can get them.
It's so much we don't know, and honestly, when I look back on how I decided to become a special ed teacher and not going through the traditional way, your program has so much in it that I don't know what the traditional program does, but I'm sure yours will match it, if not succeed it, because you went through so many things that were like, oh, wow, we have to learn about this, we have to do that. But it's not just teaching the student, it's learning the legality of how to teach them and support them to ensure that the schools aren't getting in trouble, we're not getting in trouble, and that we are really following the protocol of what it is we're to do as special education teachers. And that, to me, that compliance is more important than anything. And that's going back when you asked me, how did I get into it? Why did I want to do it? Where I currently work now, I was asked to come in and interview for a reading intervention or the SPED teacher. But I learned that they had not had the teacher for about a month. And I thought, oh, they're out of compliance. Let me take this role. And so that's how I continue just wanting to grow in it, because I knew if we had another month go by and they weren't serviced, the school would be in trouble.
Right. And so, just being a SPED teacher, it's like you're thinking about, of course, the student is your number one priority, but then you also think about yourself as a professional. Like, are you doing everything that you're supposed to do in accordance with this student's legal document? And at the same time, okay, is the school hey, is my school doing what they're supposed to do in accordance with the students' IEPs? Yeah, it's just so much that I think sometimes SPED teachers or even just teachers, all teachers are not cognizant of. It's so many different layers to it. It's not just, oh, you're a SPED teacher. And some
Right.
have that mindset of, oh, those are your kids. And it's like, well, no, these are our children. These are our kids that we're going to instruct. It's so much that goes into that, making sure we're
Yes.
doing what we need to do. And then also it's like, you are supporting gen ed teachers too, because a lot of times you have to speak on their behalf because they're not in the meet. They may be in the meeting, but then they got to leave. You're
Exactly.
still there, and you have to speak on behalf of what is that gen ed teacher doing in the classroom for the student. So there's so much. And I heard you share like how your system shifted when you said like just the organizing your
Mhm.
organization as a teacher and in your personal life, when I introduced the dashboard to you and how to
Yeah.
use that in your profession. So you
Yeah.
talked about some of the system shifts that you had, and when you had progress monitoring, like, no, I need to do it this day, and then on this day I need to do this. Like you was very clear on that. How would you say your mindset shifted during the coaching program?
Oh, wow. It totally shifted from looking at, and see, I was a gen ed teacher for a long time, and it shifted from being a gen ed teacher to a SPED teacher, literally a special education teacher. And I can honestly say I know that because this school year, I went in with a different mindset, knowing that I have to be ready for this, prepare my files for this, and this is how many students I have on my caseload. This is what I plan to do with my students. This is the day we're going to progress monitoring. I know I may have stepped on some toes when I told them, no, I cannot give you this day because on this day, this is what I do. So,
Mhm.
and so I became more, I guess I'm able to voice what I
Confident.
confident. I became more confident. Thank you for the word. I couldn't find it. In what I do and who I am as a special ed teacher. I'm not just a teacher. Understand that students they come with challenges and I have to support that. And I have to make sure I'm compliant and I have to make sure I'm pulling them for the goals that have been set for them. But and not allow things to get muddy, in the process of going through the school year. So I am a more confident special education teacher this year. And I can see that's because I went through the program and you supported me in so many areas. And I thought, wow. And like I said, you have a plethora of knowledge and things you can give to the special education teachers that maybe they don't know, that maybe their schools aren't doing or whatever it may be. So that yes, thank you. I just
You're welcome. You are so welcome. And we love hearing about the transformations that SPED teachers are having when they do go through our programming, because it does give us data of what we, just like with progress monitoring, it gives us data on what we need to do to improve our programming, what we should keep doing, what are some things we should take away. So this
Mhm.
is extremely, extremely helpful for us. So what would you say is different in your teaching or work life now that you have completed the program? What's different in your teaching and your work life now?
The things that are different is, as I said a minute ago, I definitely am more aware of my schedule and what I need to do so that I can have that balance. Um, I'm different in now. I'm pulling out the students in a way to support them and progress monitor them. Even though we have a lot of changes that have been going on at the beginning of the school year, some things are still falling into place, but I do pull them and I stick with that schedule. I made that schedule about 2 times and I learned that, okay, once it's set, it's set. And so the other thing is I'm working better with the gen ed teacher. So I explain became more definite about what this year is going to look like for the special ed area, and we are going to work together to ensure that these students have what they need. Just so happened this year we have so many challenges, to the point where we have to work together. So I'm more. I think last year, I think I wasn't open to that co-teacher model per se, but this year I have to be, and I have to be very intentional with how it's done because the challenges are so prevalent, and we want to make sure all the students are getting what they need educationally wise.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that special education teachers sometimes have to tackle is, well, what model is your school using? And so some
Mhm.
schools do use the co-teaching model. Some it's like, well, no, it's push and pull out. And then I know in a lot of different SPED groups, we've talked about that sometimes that battle with a gen ed and SPED teacher. And I'm just like, you know, communication can always, you know, you got to have that communication with your gen ed teacher, and then how you go about the communication can determine, okay, how is this relationship going to be. And then also it's so important for administrators to not just put people together or say, oh, I think they'll be good together, or you know, let's just do that. Like, you really need to put some thought process into it, because that's just like, there are some people who are not coachable,
Right.
you know, and administrators can identify that in certain teachers, and then they make the decision, okay, is that teacher that's going to work by themselves, or hey, do we have to get a new teacher for that? And the
Right.
same thing applies to like co-teaching. Some people just do not work well teaching with another teacher. Some teachers just don't. They are lone wolves,
Mhm.
solo eagles to fly solo in the sky, and that is okay.
That's
But administrators need to be cognizant of that before trying to pair them with someone for
true.
co-teaching, because a co-teaching experience is like a, it's like a marriage, because you're together
Yeah.
all year. And
Yeah.
then like and you got to be mindful how you
Yes.
guys speak to each other, how you guys treat each other, because your students are watching your every
That is
move,
so true.
and they will pick up if, you know what, Miss Sandy don't like Miss Bashir, Miss Hackers don't like Miss Bashir, and you know they can tell you, wow, every time she comes in, she rolls her eyes. Every time she asks her a question, like, you know, kids know
Yes, they
everything.
do.
Pay attention to everything, and and then some will try to put the teachers against each other. So it's so
Mhm.
important to make sure you foster that relationship with the other adult and have the we, not the I, because students listen to that as well. Because if you keep saying I, then students are like, well, Miss Hack, is you an assistant?
Mhm. All
You know,
right.
and they will treat the teacher like an assistant, because, oh, you must be assisting, you know what I mean? If
True.
because again, they pay attention. Like, if they never see that teacher teach the class, if they never see the teacher lead the class, they're going
Mhm.
to assume, oh, you must be an assistant, or you
Right.
must be somebody else, you know.
Right. Right.
That is so important.
That
Yeah,
is true.
that
Mhm.
is. So would you recommend this program to other special education teachers, and why?
Yes, I would wholeheartedly because even if you are a seasoned special education teacher, Jamila, I tell you, I can't say it anymore. She has so much information to give. And the way you give it, it's like, wow, okay, it makes you think and it makes you realize, okay, I didn't know this, but now that I know this, maybe I can use best practices this way in what I'm doing. So if you're seasoned, you will learn something that you probably didn't know, or a different way to do it. If you're very new to it, like I was, it's like you have, I feel like I've gone to school. Literally, I feel like I have gone to school and didn't need to do the 3 to 4 or whatever years it takes. So, because I got so much out of it. And the good thing is the access to you. Every question I had, I called or I texted and said, hey, I'm dealing with this. What should I do about that? And you were there. You were there to give that support. Especially, I think of the one student I really needed support in. And I thank you for that. And it
Mhm.
worked out. It really worked out. And now this year, that student is where he should have been. And just the information and the way you told me to, it was something I had to write, and the way you helped me get that down on paper, it was all perfect. I mean, really, the dots were dotted, the T's were crossed, and no one came back and said, no, we can't do it this way, because you knew exactly what needed to be said and done. And I thank you for that. And so you have that information that all special education teachers need, and need it in a way to help them grow in their teaching, in their compliance, or whatever it may be, or just to get them off the ground. When you were talking earlier, about a couple of minutes ago, I said, wow, I feel like that bird that fell out the nest. And I was trying to get my footing to figure out, am I flying? Which way do I go? And I felt like that little bird that tried to start walking and didn't know which way I was going. And then I came along and met you, and now I'm that bird that is flying. I felt I grew my wings. I know who I am. I know the direction I'm going in. I know who I'm with, special education teachers. And so I feel like I can fly. I feel like everything that you taught me, I can apply and use it. And that's what I've been doing. So this program is great for all special education teachers, in whether it's one-on-one or as a group. I know they'll get a lot out of it.
Thank you so much for that testimony. We greatly appreciate it,
Yes.
because, like I told you, I remember when you had additional questions about the program, and we jumped on a Zoom, and I was answering your questions just to let you know, like, I've been exactly where you are. I'm a former SPED teacher. I'm a former SPED supervisor. I wasn't just in the classroom maybe 3-5 years, then left, moved on to do something else. No, I was in the classroom a little over 14 years. Like, I put my time in. And so, like, just develop so many different skills, and then just just reflecting on my own experience. There's not a lot of support for special education teams and teachers. And I'm going to include paraprofessionals in that too, because they support special education students and special education teachers. And there's not a lot for them either, unless the teacher takes it upon themselves to say, hey, Ms. Brown, let me show you how to do or let me show you this or that. There's not a lot of training pertaining to what paraprofessionals do a lot of, and so I was just like, well, what can we do? And then I just started reflecting on the coaching, and I'll never say I had a bad coach. It's just my coach was stretched out thin. She was at so many other schools in Philadelphia when I first started my career. Like, she couldn't give me a lot of attention. And so I went through a lot of trial and error, and thank God none of the errors led to a lawsuit. But the thing is, an error can lead you to a lawsuit, and being in litigation sucks. It is horrible. You don't want to be in that situation, because then it can become, if you don't have I'll say people in your corner, it can become a blame game. Well, this is your fault because you didn't do da. And it's like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. I didn't know I needed to do that. And a lot of times that's the case with special education teachers. It's like, well, I didn't know I needed to do this, or this was supposed to be done at this time. No one ever told me. No one ever showed me. And when you get to the school and they know you're a special teacher, it's like, here's your caseload. Go do those IEPs. Go service those students. And it's like, that's not all that special education teachers do. They do so much more. So we wanted to create a program to also give special education teachers that support, but then also like, here are things you definitely should know as you go throughout your career. You know what I mean? And we're just so happy that you had such a great transformation, that you enjoyed the program, and you were able to get the support. I remember those times you was like, listen, I need help with this. I'm not sure how to word this. I don't know what to do. And I was just like, really, take a deep breath. It's okay.
I know it.
I remember that. And I'm just like, it's okay. It is okay. I said, just take a deep breath.
I know.
A step at a time. A step at a time.
You all should have seen me. I was like, I don't know
Yes.
if I should do
She
this,
was like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to word this. And I was like, okay, we got, I said, you got this. You got this. We made it through,
yes,
so, and then like just making sure you are clear on who you are, the voice
mhm,
you have, you're the voice for your students and
yes,
things like that. So like just making sure, we always want to make sure special education teachers feel empowered to
yes,
advocate for them, for their students, but also for themselves. So that's
yes,
a huge piece of the program too. So do
yes.
you have any words of encouragement for teachers feeling stuck or
Mm.
unsure if they want to do SPEDucators Rise or not?
Oh, yes, teachers. Yes, special education teachers specifically. I will honestly say, especially this year, when there is a rise of special education students in every school system, I'm sure. We have seen so many come in. So I would implore you to consider working with SPEDucators Rise. Things you think you may know, you may not know. And Jamila will be able to help you align what you do for the students, the school, and yourself. She will help you align all of that and allow you to have a great year. I think if I had not gone through her program, this year would still be different in a way where I would be less confident, not knowing which way to go or what to do. But her courses, her class, and her just the conversations we had, and the encouragement, all of that, everything just allowed me to start fresh this year, with a new mindset, a level of confidence I didn't think I would have being a special education teacher. And I know now what I have to do. We have to speak up for our children. So anyone that is considering what next, what turn I should make, I would just implore you to truly reach out to Jamila Bashir. I always get your name mixed up. And go online and check it out, because what she has out there is real, and the knowledge behind it all is definitely what we need, especially in this season of special education.
Thank
So
you so much for that, Sandy, and especially what you said, the state of special education. It's like the way our government is moving. You definitely want to make sure that you are equipped, with
yeah,
information, with training, so that way you can best support the students that you have. Because you know what is happening in our country, special education will still continue. We just have to make sure that, hey, we are well equipped with everything that we need to know, and that what we need to do, so we can support our students the best way possible. Thank
and the
you. You have
parents.
something else? Go ahead.
I was going to say, and the parents, because there are parents, some parents who still don't know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
We have to support them too.
Yep.
So that was it. But thank you so much. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for me, said to me, encouraged me to do. And it helps me to continue in this area, even in times like this.
Mhm.
There's just, we're needed. We are needed. And as we know, we just have to balance everything.
Absolutely. Thank you again for that beautiful testimony, Sandy. We greatly appreciate it, and we enjoyed having you in the program. So do tell all your sped teacher
Will
friends to
do.
come over, and take advantage of the program as well. But thank you so much for coming on to share your testimony with us.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. So you heard it from yourself from one of the teachers who went through SPEDucators Rise. We have another teacher who is going to share their testimony later this week. Just so you know, hey, we got our receipts. We share our receipts. We're not just talk. We don't just talk about results, but we show you our results, and you can hear from our results. From right straight from the horse's mouth, right? So please keep in mind that progress Progress Monitoring 101 workshop will be on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is absolutely free. Please click the link in the bio or the link in the live notes to register. For the link to register, it is absolutely free. And those of you who are interested in SPEDucators Rise, you can click the link in the live notes that leads you straight to the website to learn more about the program, what it consists of, and everything, and all the good things, and all the program entails, right? And if you have even more questions about SPEDucators Rise, you can send us a DM. We're very responsive, or you can schedule a call with us and we can answer your questions that you do have about the SPEDucators Rise group coaching program that is specifically designed for special education teachers. So again, thank you again, Sandy, for coming on and sharing your testimony. As always, everyone, please be safe, be kind to yourself, and be mindful of what your capacity is, because once you push past your capacity, that's when burnout occurs. And we don't want that to happen, okay? We want to keep you healthy. We want to keep you good, okay? So make sure you pay attention to yourself and you be kind to yourself and give yourself grace, all right? Until next time, have a great and safe evening. Peace.